third-year player in this league. He's a speech communication, broadcast journalism major, and a public relations minor. Okay. I think major with a 3.83 fall grade point average. He was an all-academic RMAC selection. Scott started 17 games this fall, missing 3 games to injury. Finished the season with 3 goals and 3 assists for 9 points, which was good. Which was good for 5th on the team in scoring, and then finished the spring with 2 goals and an assist. Most memorable games in the fall. I think the most memorable game, or most memorable goal this fall had to be obviously his blast against Regis. Saw the celebration on that. I think I think that'd be 1A, 1B. I think as far as goals in the year would be his first goal. Our first goal against Fort Lewis, a minute and 29 seconds in, and 3-0 win at home. Scott was named one of our 3 captains for next year, and Scott's always been a consistent performer for us. He's never the flashiest player on the field, but he's always just kind of got this blue-collar approach to the game. And it's unfortunate that that kind of approach doesn't get recognized in postseason honors, because I really think if teams would kind of look past the fanfare and the stats and the numbers, and look at the player that just has that very blue collar approach and hardworking, diligently working on things on his own. Sure enough that he should be an all RMAC level performer. I kind of see the same thing with Wilson. I think obviously with Wilson not being recognized, I think until this year for a lot of postseason awards, when I definitely thought that Tyler Wilson was deserving of awards as early as his sophomore year, and certainly for sure for his junior year. But again, I think it's that kind of player, that blue collar mentality that just kind of goes unnoticed a lot of times in games, and Scotty certainly fits that mold. It's really shocking that these guys are going to be seniors next year. I'm really looking forward. This is going to be a great class. I think this is going to be a very productive class, and I think this is going to be a class that really carries us through next year. Obviously we're losing great players in Steve Emery and Tyler Wilson, but this group's kind of got their always been this. Did I say Jack? No. How about Jack? I think this group, this is going to be a group that's, I think, really going to carry the personality of the team next year, for the good and for the bad. But I think that this is going to be a group that's going to want to go out and make a note, and I know they're going to go out with a bang. Scott Crawford.
Great.
Business management and sport industry operations major, who started all 20 games for us this year. 10 goals and 5 assists in the fall, 3 goals and assists this spring, which were both second on the team for each season. Scotty was selected to the All RMAC preseason team, All RMAC second team, the NCAA All Central Region team, and the Vectron Central Region team. Scott is also going to be one of our captains for next year. Scott's game just continues to mature every year. I always tell a story about that he was kind of a utility player at the U level. He can basically play anywhere. If the team was up, they'd go right back to go mark the team's most dangerous player. You'd see him in the central midfield. You'd see him out flying. You see him up top. And it wasn't until he came here that we just decided, okay, let's pick a position and figure out what he's going to play. And so I think you just kind of see the maturation process in his play from a player who really didn't come here as a true forward. Some people would feel, I think, a little bit of the pressure, knowing that who's going to be the marked man for us next year with Emery being gone. But anybody who knows Scott, he really kind of thrives under that pressure. He loves that attention. He actually absolutely loves that attention. He's going to be the the face of the program and the future of the program. And so I have no doubt that he's going to end his career on a fantastic note. Scott Brody. With 2 goals this spring. Probably his most memorable goal was his awkwardly efficient 40-yard sprint down the field against got the job done, but was a very memorable goal that year. Was in that game. Gailey went through his share of playing struggles this year, and I think after an unproductive summer, he really did a nice job for us this spring. I think Dele, going into his final year, understands the importance of you know, whether you want to look at it or not, whether you want to look at, you know, the D2 experience as, you know, having these set times off and things like that, you know, I mean, unless you really want to be a very good player, a productive player, you know, it takes a year-round commitment, you know, and it takes a, you know, individual commitment to doing the things in the off season when, you know, we don't have any contact with players. So, you know, I already know that Daly's been out, you know, with the Foxes, you know, since our season has ended, and you know, I think just kind of refining and retooling his game. You know, we've basically given him the things that, you know, he needs to work on this off season, and you know, I don't think that he's going to take this summer for granted like he did last year. You know, I have no doubt that Daly, you know, could be the dominating center back that we always envisioned him becoming. You know, we've always had a great tradition of center backs in the program, and you know, there's no reason that Daly shouldn't be spoken in that same breath. Daly Thompson. Juniors is Chris Yoder, who's a civil engineering technology major with who had a 3.53 grade point average in the fall. Played in 19 games with 19 starts from the center midfield position. Finished the fall with 3 goals and 2 assists, and then added another goal the spring season. Shared time in the Central Mid with Jack last year, and you know, my philosophy has always been that, you know, we're going to get the 11 best players on the field. You know, and obviously something had to give. You know, I mean, obviously Emery's going to be, you know, in the central midfield, and obviously Brody's going to be the player that's up top, and Hirschberger's going to usually be a player up top, and you know, Daly's going to be a center back, and you know, there's not a great deal of you know, movement that we can make in the chess pieces. You know, it's not like we can throw Yoder back at left back or right back. That'd be an absolute disaster. But you know, really the only movable piece that we had was, you know, in Jack going, okay, you know, here's a player that at least can play, you know, on the defensive side of the ball. You know, kind of spoke about the struggles that he had early on as a left back, but you know, really I think came on in the season as a right back. You know, and I think that you know, you know, Jack is, you know, he had a very good year as a junior playing in the defensive center mid, but you know, Chris really worked hard this summer, really came into the season fit, and you know, I think determined to play in there this year. And you know, in order to get the best 11 players on the field, you know, sometimes we have to move around the chess pieces, and you know, and Jack, you know, was the chess piece that we moved there a couple times. But you know, I think with Chris, you know, he was our defensive presence in the center midfield. You know, he did really perform well in the preseason during the starting role this year, and you know, obviously as our defensive president in the midfield. I mean, like I said, Emery didn't set the bar real high there as far as defending in the center midfield. But I was very pleased with Chris, you know, that he was selected for postseason awards, because you know, it's, again, I think one of those things that, you know, here's the guy that's doing all the dirty work, you know, back there, and you know, allowing Emery to, you know, not have to rely on defending so much. You know, that there's the guy that's just going to kind of sit in that hole and just kind of plug up the defense there, and you know, let Emery you know, have the ability to work his way forward. But so, you know, so I'm very happy that the coaches in the conference recognized, I think, his hard work, and as he was selected, Chris was selected to the All RMAC second team, and then to the NSCAA and Daktronics Central Region team as well. Chris is going to be our third of 3 captains for next year, and we look forward to his final season in Metro Stadium. Jack is an accounting major. He will be graduating after this summer. He's got 2 classes to complete this summer, and then he will be graduating with an accounting degree. He played in 15 games this year with 12 starts. Finished the season with 4 assists, and played primarily as an outside back. And like, again, you know, one of the few, I think, versatile players on the team that, you know, we could, you know, plug him as a center back, a left back, a right back, defensive center midfield. You know, always a player that, you know, I think has always valued the defending side of the ball. You know, he's more of a defensive center midfield, you know, probably his true position, but as I said, you know, he was really the only player that we really thought logical to move around in there, because, you know, we just had some shortcomings as the outside back spots. And, you know, we saw some struggles with Jack as a left back, but, you know, I think he became much more comfortable, you know, once he became comfortable with the idea of moving him over to the left back. And, you know, Jack did a very good job for us as a right back. You know, Jack did a very good job. I think, you know, with the early struggles, you know, he did a very good job when we moved him over to the right back. You know, I really wish that, you know, we obviously, we get our share of transfers, and obviously we've always kind of had the primary philosophy of kind of building from within. That the players who start out here as freshmen are eventually going to get the roles. Obviously, we're never going to pass up on good players like Jack and Ryan Warren and Zach Camp and Brendan Hughes. Obviously we're not going to pass up on players who want to transfer over to us. But I really wish Jack was would have started out for us as a freshman because he's one of the classiest kids in the program. At least I think we're at least all lucky that that we've got an opportunity to know Jack and play with Jack for the last 2 years. Jack Bellinger. Emery, who's a healthcare management major, finished the semester with a 3.2 GPA. Stephen has roughly about 15 hours or so left to graduate with his healthcare management degree and business management minor. Stephen started all 20 games and finished the season with 17 goals and 10 assists, which was tops on the team, and which was also second overall in the RMAC as far as points. Obviously, Stephen, enjoyed another successful year, and for his efforts, was named the RMAC preseason player of the year. He was named to the All-RMAC team, was one of 2 unanimous selections to the All-RMAC team. He was named to the All-RMAC tournament team, the NSCAA Adidas All-Central region team, Daktronics Midwest region team, and then in addition was also recognized as the RMAC player of the year for the 2nd consecutive year, and the Daktronics Midwest region player of the year for the 2nd consecutive year. For his career, Stephen finished with 38 goals and 23 assists for 99 points. His 38 goals place him 4th all-time in Metro State record books. His 23 assists put him 3rd all-time in the Metro State record books, and his 99 points put him 3rd all-time in the Metro State record books. He also holds a career record for shots with 268 over 4 years, and then also holds a record for consecutive games with at least 1 point. As we all know, that after a stellar career here at Metro State, he's now part of the MLS defending champion Colorado Rapids. Yeah. Stephen is the first player in the history of Metro State to play at the sport's highest level. So obviously we've had baseball players who have been drafted, but have never made it to the show. Basketball players who have played in the ABL and the Australian leagues and things like that. But Stephen is the first athlete in Metro State to reach his sport's highest level. This accomplishment is obviously not only great for our men's soccer program. It's not only great for the Metro State athletic department, but also great for the RMAC and Division II soccer. And I think that Stephen is the perfect ambassador, I think, for all those areas. Perfect ambassador for Metro State athletics, for a perfect ambassador for the RMAC, and for Division II. Stephen, congratulations on a great career, and best of luck to you as Colorado Rapid. Tyler Wilson. Always tough to follow Emery here in the program, isn't it, Wilson?
Good God.
Tyler's a marketing major with a 3.2 grade point average this fall, and Tyler's going to graduate in December after completing his last fall classes. You look at all those accolades for Stephen, and for Tyler, I think this is more impressive than any of Stephen Emery's stats, quite frankly. That Tyler finally scored his first goal this year. As gratuitous as it was.
Watch Emery take this PK.
Tyler started 16 games this fall for us and was sidelined for 4 games this year with an injury. And there's no coincidence that we were 1-3 in those games when Tyler was out. Tyler was our defensive plug. We really missed him in those 4 games. He probably should have sat out probably another 2. On the front end of that injury and the back end of that injury. But Tyler just really wanted to help this team and do everything that he could, and if that meant limping around and trying to be, somewhat effective, he was going to do it. And, despite the fact that he missed 4 games, probably, he was probably less than 50% in another 2 of those games. But, Tyler was a finalist for the RMAC Defensive Player of the Year this year, and I think, it's based on the conference coaches, realizing what we lacked with Tyler out of the lineup. On a side note, Stephen Emery finished dead last in the voting for RMAC Player of the Year. I'm glad that Tyler was finally recognized, for all the things that he had, to our team. Like I said. Yes, I didn't say that, didn't I? No. Oh,
He won that. Way too low.
Like I said, I'm really glad, that Tyler, was finally recognized, for all the things he did. He really should have been recognized last year, I think.